Let's briefly talk about yurt platforms. In Mongolia, yurts are installed right on the ground without any anchorage, not to harm the earth. Here in our climates, often more humid, we recommend some sort of a platform. It can be a deck, it can be pretty much anything. At Groovy Yurts we sell platforms as well. We use SIP panels, so it's an insulated panel, 2 inches of foam sandwiched between 2 sheets of plywood. The platforms can be finished either unfinished first of all, or with a weather treatment on the bottom side, and or with a stain on the top side, and the stain gives it a nice finish. Those platforms are insulated, they're assembled tongue and groove, very easy to assemble, and the beauty, they're so rigid and light yet that they only require a very simple substructure. Parallel beams every 4 feet is enough to carry your yurt, the platform, and your entire family. One main requirement is that your substructure is well leveled. It needs to be well leveled to assemble the platform more easily. So we're now going to set up a platform. If you purchased a platform from Groovy Yurts, a Groovy platform, you will need the platform itself, a drill, not supplied, and a few 1.5 inch screws. 1 inch to 1.5 inch screws are enough. And a good plastic hammer or a piece of wood to hammer the platform together. A few sheets of plywood, those are supplied. You also need a long strap. We sell those, but you can spare this cost by using a few shorter straps around the perimeter once we're done. The platform will come with a plan. It is extremely easy. All the platforms are numbered with the platform number and the part number. So it goes from 1 to 20 sometimes, and you just go in sequence. It's tongue and groove, and you'll see that it's very easy to assemble. To assemble the floor, the only thing we need is to put the panels on top of the substructure, of course in sequence. We will start with panels number 1 and 2, and going through the pile we'll place the other parts somewhere on the platform where they belong, so they're ready for further assembly. The substructures are parallel beams every 4 feet. You can join them like we did here, or just have them right on the ground. The center beam will have the diameter of the yurt. The next beam will be shorter, depending of course on the circumference. We place the first 2 pieces, they mark 1 and 2, on the center beam, and we push them together. There you go, we center a little bit on the beam. Yeah, perfect, so we're nice and centered towards the beam. Then we take number 3. We try not to walk on the platform, not to damage it or stain it. And number 4, we will scissor the platform inside. So push it in like this. Now Chuck will push the platform, and Carmen will here hold that part with your knees, and Chuck, you can push the platform in. If you do use a hammer, you can tap them. Just make sure that you don't damage the edge. Depending if the platform, the substructure is well leveled or not, the pieces might be a little more difficult to insert. Sometimes they just go easily, sometimes you have to knock them a little more. It doesn't have to be absolutely precise once you set up, because at the end we will put a strap to tighten everything. To insert a piece, we want to have a few friends holding the rest of the platform, and we scissor that part in. Here we see we are not perfectly lined with the beam. We will line the platform once we have the strap around it, so don't worry for the moment. And make sure there's no wood or grass or stones in the tongue and groove. The Groovy strap. So we use long straps If you don't buy one from us, you can also simply use a few shorter straps, as long as you go all around the perimeter. So I'm starting with the strap on the side, and the rest of your team will unfold it. You have to put some pressure to hold it in place. Yeah. Don't be shy, tighten it well. And now we can go around and hammer on the side so it really gets in its final position. So the strap is only temporary to really squeeze the platform together. While we have the strap on, we're now going to adjust the platform so that the center line of the platform and each of the connection sit exactly on one of the parallel beams of the substructure. Once we are well aligned, we release, and the platform is well together, we release the strap like this, and we can remove the strap, and we will now place the rim that will go all around the yurt. You will place the door wherever you want it. In Mongolia it'll be facing south. It's going to face wherever your NASA's view is, or wherever it's more practical. Here we placed it in the middle of the platform, and from the right edge of the door you come about half an inch to an inch inside the door. We will want to screw this part onto the door, so it needs to overlap the door. And from there we start screwing our rims all around the platform until the other side of the door. I make a mark about half an inch from the edge of the door. That's where I will start my rim. So then you remove the door, or you can simply lean it back on the platform on its open inside doors while we start setting up the rim. Start our rim at our mark, and we line it with the bottom of the platform. We take our first screw and we put it just under the edge, because here we have foam, here we have plywood, here we have plywood on the surface. So we're going to try having our screws going into the plywood. We'll put 2 here to start with, and we start going around, putting a screw every foot roughly. You can also put one down, one up. So this rim has a few technical necessities. The first one, we will install the yurt inside the rim, overlap the covers over the rim for water drainage. It also prevents smaller rodents to come in the yurt, and also it keeps our platform together. So at the end I put 2 screws because there is more strength here, and we start with the next one. Your colleague needs to be flush with the bottom of the platform. Again, here 2 screws. When we have a connection in the platform, we put a screw on each side to really keep it together, and then we continue all around till the other side of the door. So here we get to the last piece, and we have of course an extra. So we're going to put 2 screws temporarily. Nice screws. We want only nice screws. And here I'm going to mark from the inside the end actually, and I'm also marking this edge. The last part I will need to mark is the other side of the door. So I'm placing the door against 1 inch under the first rim. I'm marking here just the edge of the door. I remove the door, and I will mark 1 inch further. Now we've removed the front piece and we're going to cut out this area and place it back. So as you see, we've cut the rim so that it overlaps on the door about 1 inch. Platform done!